2021 Canadian Open Mathematics Challenge, Part A. Let x be a real number such that x minus 2 times x plus 2 is 2021. Determine the value of x minus 1 times x plus 1. Let's first expand this, and then when we do, we get x squared minus 4 is 2021. That means x squared is equal to 2025, and therefore this is a perfect square, so x would be plus or minus 45. Okay, so now let's concentrate on this guy. That means we can just sub in x equals 45 and x equals minus 45 and see what the values will be. So if x is 45, this becomes 45 minus 1 times 45 plus 1, which is 44 times 46. And 44 times 46 is 2024. And let's see what happens with x equals minus 45. It would be minus 45 minus 1 times minus 45 plus 1, which is the same as minus 46 times minus 44, which will also be 2024. Julia had a box of candies and ate them all in 4 days. On the first day, she ate 1/5 of the total number of candies. On the second day, she ate half of what was left after the first day. On the third day, she ate half of what was left after the second day. What portion of the candies initially contained in the box did she eat on the fourth day? Express her answer as a reduced fraction. So let's make a little table of how much she ate and how much is remaining. And this goes on for 4 days. So we'll say this is day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. Day 4 is when all the candies are consumed. Okay, so let's say we start off with x number of candies. So x is the number of candies at the very beginning. So on day 1, she eats 1/5, right? That's what they say. So that means she eats x over 5. So what's remaining would be x minus x over 5, which is 4x over 5. Okay, day 2, she eats half of what was left. So she eats half of this. So half of this is what she eats, and that is 2x over 5. Yeah, if we reduce it to lowest terms. So if she eats half, that means she doesn't eat the other half. So the other half she doesn't eat, and that's what's remaining. So this is the other half, 1/2 times this guy, which is of course also 2x over 5. Okay. And then now we have the third day. The third day, she eats half of what was left after the second day. So the same story, 1/2 2x over 5. And in a very similar way, that would be x over 5. And if she eats half, she doesn't eat the other half. So the other half is the other 1/2 times 2x over 5, which is also x over 5. And then finally on the fourth day, she would eat what's left. So she would eat x over 5. Yeah. And then what's remaining is 0, because that's it. So they're saying what portion of the candies initially contained in the box did she eat on the fourth day? So this is what she eats on the fourth day. So she eats 1/5 of x. So 1/5 of the candies that were originally, initially contained in the box is what she consumes on the fourth day. Two circles, each of radius 5 units, are drawn in the coordinate plane such that their centers A and C have the coordinates 0, 0, and 8, 0, respectively. How many points of the plane where both coordinates are integers lie within the intersection of these circles, including its boundary? Okay. Well, we can kind of look at this diagram and sort of figure this out. I don't think we will need too many equations that will be unnecessarily complicated, but just to ensure you explain what you're doing. See, the radius is 5, right? So if this is 8, this C right here, then this point right here would be 5 units to the left. So that means that point would be 3 on the x-axis. And since this A is 0 and the radius is 5, 5 units to the right of A would be 5. So this point right here is 5. And then obviously the point right in the middle would be 4. So on the x-axis, the only values that would be integers for that shaded region, which is the intersection of those two circles, would be x equals 3, 4, and 5. And that's it. Anything outside of that will not be in the shaded region. And also, 3.5, 4.7, those are not integers. So the only integers we can work with in that intersection area is 3, 4, 5 for x. Now we have to figure out what are the values for y. Well, for y, when x is 3, first of all, the only thing that y can be is 0. Because if y is anything greater than 0, it will be sort of up here. You see? And that falls outside of that intersection area. Similarly, if you go down. So the only thing that x can be, when x is 3, the only thing y can be is 0. And very similarly, when x is 5, the only thing that y can be is 0. So for the same reason, if we go up, it starts to fall outside of that intersection point, as you can clearly see. Okay, now what about 4? When x is 4, what can y be? Well, it can obviously be 0, but then if you keep going up, you can stay within that region right up until you get to that point. And same thing right until you get to that point. So if we can figure out what those 2 points are, then we can just figure out the integers, in between 0 and that point. Okay, so how do we figure that out? Well, you can again probably do it manually, but let's just introduce some equations just to make the solution a little complete. The first equation is x squared plus y squared is equal to 5 squared, since it's centered at 0, 0, and the radius is 5. The second equation is x squared, but actually not x squared. It would be x minus 8 squared, because the center is at 8, 0, plus y squared is 25. And then to get the intersection, you just solve this system. So that means that we know that they intersect at 4 because that's the x value, but just to be sure, let's just solve this. Why take a chance, right? Y squared is 25 minus x squared, so let's plug that in here. So we got x squared minus 16x plus 64, and then y squared plus 25 minus x squared is 25. So all we're left with now is 64 is 16x, and therefore x is equal to 4. Exactly what I had guessed because of the symmetry, but now we know for sure that x is 4. And that's what we have up here. Now we get to the y value, just sub x equals 4 back into any one of these equations. When you do, you get 4 squared plus y squared is 5 squared. So y squared is 25 minus 16. So y squared is 9. Therefore, y is plus or minus 3. So this point is 3, and this point is minus 3. So therefore, 3 and minus 3. So the integers between 0 and 3 obviously are 1 and 2. The integers between 0 and minus 3 are minus 1 and minus 2. So those are the points we have. Let's write them all out just to make sure we make a complete list. 3, 0, 5, 0. And then from this list here, we get 4, 0, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, and then we would get 4, negative 1, 4, negative 2, and 4, negative 3. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 intersection points within those two circles that have integer coordinates. Marija travels to school by a combination of walking and skateboarding. She can get there in 38 minutes if she walks for 25 minutes, and skateboards for 13, or in 31 minutes if she walks for 11 and skateboards for 20. How long in minutes would it take for her to walk to school? Well, we have that famous equation, speed is equal to distance over time, or any variation such as time is equal to distance over speed, or speed times time is equal to distance. So any one of those is good enough. Now, we know a few things from the equation, from the opening stem of this question, a few equations I can say, that the distance, if we use this formula, is equal to speed times time, right? So her distance is going to be, when she's first walking, the speed at which she walks, and then the time, which is 25 minutes. And then we have to add to that the speed at which she skateboards, and then the time, which is 13 minutes. So that would be an accurate equation based on the information in the question. Okay, and then the second scenario, same distance, but this time the times are a little bit different. This time we are told that skateboarding and walking is a little bit different. So walking this time is 11 minutes, and then skateboarding this time is 20 minutes. Okay, so those are the two equations. I'll call them 1 and 2. So now we can manipulate these two equations. If I do 1 minus 2, I will get d minus d, which is 0. And then on this side, I will get 14 SW, and I will get minus 7 SS. So that means 7 SS is equal to 14 SW. So that means SS, the speed when she's skating, is 2 times the speed where she's walking. So that's a pretty good result. Okay, so where do I go from here? I can now sub this back into any one of these guys and get sort of everything in terms of, I guess, SW. So that means 25 SW plus 13 times SS, which is 2 times SW. So that's going to be 25 plus 26, which is 51 SW, is D. Okay. Now at this point, I think I'll use this formula. T is equal to D over S, the time. So the distance over the speed, let's see here. Let's just say we want to figure out the distance of her to walk, which is what essentially that they're asking. So it would be the distance from her home to school over the speed of her walking, and that's the time that it takes for her to reach school by walking. So TW would be D over SW, but D, we have figured out, is 51 times SW. And therefore, interestingly, the SW's just cancel, and all you're left with is 51. And this was in minutes, and that's it. So with these basic equations, and you manipulate them and use the information in the question stem, the answer is 51 minutes.